Hello, boys and girls. This is Aunt Fernita, and I have a wonderful story for you called Who is Your Neighbor? Today's memory verse is Luke chapter 10, verse 27. It says, "Love your neighbor as yourself." The message for today's story is God wants us to show love to everyone. Who is your neighbor? Is it the person who lives next door to you? Jesus said that to be a good neighbor means more than that. One day Jesus was talking to a crowd of people. A teacher of the law in the crowd had a question for Jesus. "What do I have to do to live forever?" "Well, what does it say in the law?" Jesus responded. "The law says to love the Lord with all your heart and love your neighbor as you love yourself," the teacher answered. "But who is my neighbor?" Then Jesus told this story. A man was traveling from Jerusalem to the city of Jericho. You all know that dangerous road. Robbers like to hide there. The people nodded. They all knew which road Jesus was talking about. "Well," Jesus continued, "a group of robbers attacked the traveler. They tore off his clothes, they beat him, they stole his money, and then they left him lying there, almost dead." The people nodded again. Along came a priest. A priest is like a minister, Jesus said. He saw the poor man beaten and bleeding, but he turned his head and walked by on the other side of the road. A little later, another priest came by. He heard the poor traveler moaning in pain. "Oh, oh." The man was so dirty and bloody. That priest wrinkled up his nose and hurried away. Not long after, a Samaritan man riding a donkey came down the road. The Samaritan knelt down beside the wounded man. He carefully washed his cuts and put bandages on them. Then he helped the poor traveler onto his own donkey and slowly led the donkey into town. The Samaritan took the injured man to an inn. "Please take care of this man," he said to the innkeeper. "Here is some money. If you need more, I'll give you more when I come back." Then Jesus looked at the teacher. "Which of those three men was a neighbor to the traveler?" he asked. The man knew the answer. "The one who took care of him," he answered. "That's exactly right," Jesus said with a big smile. "Now go and do the same thing." It doesn't matter what people look like or talk like or even what they smell like. Jesus wants us to help our neighbor, and that's anyone who needs our help. Let's be like the Good Samaritan. Let's be like Jesus.
This podcast is produced by Gracelink.net at Studio El Piso, Singapore. For more children's resources, please visit Gracelink.net.